Hello, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I loved your performance in Encanto,
Thank
and
you.
I'm just curious, what is it like going from so many, going through so many different characters and different worlds as an actress? It must be a joy.
It's really, really fun. I mean, it's an absolute pleasure because essentially what I'm getting to do is play all the time. I'm play acting, I'm pretending, and it's one of the most joyful things ever. I mean, you remember when you were a kid, like you could just get lost in hours and hours of play, and I get to do that for a living. It's a tremendous, tremendous blessing, and I'm grateful for it every day.
And your character, Quiet, spends almost 2 episodes in silence, and then when she starts to speak, she's a total badass with an attitude. Who is the woman behind the rough exterior?
Mm, Such a good question. You do see more of who she is as the series kind of goes on, but I think at the core, she's somebody who just acts on her instinct. She trusts her instinct inherently, and when she doesn't, and when she questions herself, she gets into tricky situations. Um, I think she's like willing to do anything it takes, whatever she needs, she's pretty much willing to do whatever it takes. What she needs does change and evolve as the series goes on. Uh, the things that she thinks she values highest might get knocked down a peg or two after more and more driving takes place. Um, but I think like one of the things that she really needs as the series starts is revenge, and that revenge really drives her. It is the motor behind all choices as you watch the series start to unfold. And like that revenge is pretty all consuming.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it because I'm about 2/3 of the way through the series,
Okay.
and where she starts is and where she is even at this point is completely different than I expected, and we really got to explore her and who she
Yeah.
is. So it's an interesting character.
Very, very interesting. And I think really well written. I think our staff did an incredible job of developing and writing that character from someone who doesn't have a voice, literally,
Mhm.
into this like badass.
Were there any other reasons that besides some of that you mentioned that you wanted to play her?
I mean, the action stuff was really exciting to me. I've been wanting to do action for a long time. I got a little tiny taste of it on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but not enough for me. And I really got bit by that bug. And I wanted to do more. I knew that I was capable, and the stuff that I got to do on this series was a real gift because, obviously we have stunt doubles for really dangerous things, but for a lot of the majority of the fights and stuff, I was allowed slash really encouraged by our coordinators and our showrunner to throw myself in the ring and like try things. And, you know, there were bumps and bruises for sure because that's part of the process, but it was really, really fun. I have a dance background, and like it came in really handy when learning choreography. All of that stuff that you see, I mean, you're like you said, you're 2/3 of the way through.
Yes.
So like you've seen some of the fights already, some of the big fights that I have. And like
Mhm.
I'm really proud to say that quite a bit of that is me.
Yeah, and you're doing some fast driving. You're a big car crash where you're being whipped around, your bullets flying around. I was curious, like, yeah, I was like, it didn't look like a stunt, a stunt person. It looked like
Well,
you,
that's
so
not,
it's
yeah, it's pretty cool.
pretty impressive. Besides the action, was there another fun part about playing the character?
I really like the relationship between Quiet and John Doe, between the two of them. And I like that they both are, there's something very, and not to get too like actory about this, but there's something really beautiful to me with story where there is a particular drive that a character has. They have a need. And these two have very different needs when the story starts out. And then the needs that they have change based on the fact that they've met each other. the fact that they've now come into each other's worlds, their needs dramatically shift. And I just think that that's so interesting in storytelling when you introduce two characters to each other and like they didn't know each other, they didn't know shit about each other before this moment. And the trajectory of their lives becomes incredibly different because of this one meeting. I think that that's so interesting. And the development of how they live in the world it shifts dramatically because they join forces.
I love it. Yeah, that's, I mean, I love the actory answer.
I could really go for it to get into like Shakespeare comparisons and stuff with the series, but I do really think that like that to me is like it's so fascinating how people shift and change based on the relationships that they establish as story unfolds.
Excellent. And let's just wrap up with 3 words to describe quiet.
Driven. It's a hyphenated word. Driven, badass.
Excellent. I thought you were going to be silent for one, and that would have been
that would have been good.
Thank you so much for your time, and I'm enjoying the series. Looking forward to more. Have a great day.